Guys, welcome to Sunrise Extra on a Monday. Big Monday. Of course, it was the Father's Day holiday weekend. We had some good weather and some not so great weather. And finally, Multnomah County opened in Phase 1 on Friday, and that was kind of our best weather day. So we are asking today, did you take part in Multnomah County's Phase 1 reopening? How was it? Did you see, people doing everything they were supposed to be doing? Did you feel comfortable? Did you not want to go out? Did you celebrate Dad by going out? So all things on the table this morning, guys. How are you?
It will be tough for me to participate in that particular topic because I don't believe I stepped foot or drove a tire through Multnomah County at all since I left here on Friday. But I'll tell you what, weather-wise, actually, I thought yesterday, Nina, I would contradict you by saying yesterday I thought it was pretty awesome. There were times around 5 p.m. I thought this is the best Father's Day weather I can ever remember. But anyways, we do want to hear from our viewers because I know a lot of you did experience Multnomah County this weekend in all of its reopening glory. So again, chime in on that.
Chris, what did you guys do at your house? Because you're here in Multnomah County. What did you do for Father's Day?
We were actually taking some family photos. We went to Peninsula Park up in North Portland and took our baby Daphne's 6-month photo. Well, now 7. We were a little late, but I think we can understand that.
No.
Yeah.
And we went up to the Peninsula Park Rose Garden and snapped some photos there. So that was a fun way to spend Father's Day morning.
That is crazy. Oh, that's great.
Time flies.
Yeah, no kidding. How has it been being home? I mean, I know I always say it is, and my husband tells other friends, he's like, yeah, Nina has a coworker that we've seen his whole basement become remodeled through this whole process. How has it been working at home with 2 little ones upstairs? Are they clamoring to get down to you?
Can I just say that we have our school or our daycare has opened actually back in May. We held them out a little bit longer just as a precaution, and now both of our children are in daycare. And I can say that it has been an experience sitting down here in the basement before the ceiling and the insulation was put in, and hearing the 3-year-old running around and making all kinds of noise and hearing the baby crying, and all I can say is thank goodness that our in-laws were here for 4 months
to help you guys
because we needed all hands on deck.
Nina, you weren't here on Friday, Nina. We actually had Chris. We tried to get Chris's kids on the show. Brenda and I did because he told us that they were getting ready to head out the door with their mom. Yeah. We're like, oh, well, just have them come downstairs real quick. And apparently Catherine was like, no, that's not happening. I'm kind of in the middle of a situation here, getting them into a car and out the door.
Yeah. I think there was a little bit of bathroom training and then to the door to the daycare. So I missed out on that Friday morning, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I'm not sure.
Meanwhile, we do have a lot of people chiming in on the topic at hand here. We were asking about Phase 1 of reopening in Multnomah County. This weekend it officially got underway, and amongst those chiming in, we actually have quite a few comments here on the live stream on Facebook this morning. So good morning to everyone watching on Facebook. Jennifer Taft among them. She says, sigh. She starts with the sigh. She says because of her immune compromised self, she is not celebrating right now. She says, sorry, we are scared of all you non-masked humans.
Yeah.
Which I was actually surprised. I just mentioned this yesterday to my family as we got together for Father's Day, that I was surprised on Saturday when I was at my Safeway, the number of masks versus, now I know it's not required until Wednesday of this week, but I still figure people this weekend would have been getting into the spirit of masking, and it was still at least a 50-50 split in terms of those with and those without masks at the grocery store that I was at Saturday.
Interesting. I'm looking at some of the other comments, just what people have done over the weekend or on Friday since Multnomah County opened. Jennifer Taft, this is fun. I watched a drive-by drag show, and it was wonderful outdoors. That's kind of a fun way to spend it, yeah.
There was one more, and I kind of, now that they're piling up the comments, I kind of lose the one I wanted to read. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I was going to say my favorite coffee shop, not only because it's like a stone's throw away, but because they have really good coffee and really nice people. They were slow in kind of opening their doors for carryout, but I talked to the owner yesterday, and she was thrilled that she applied for that PBOT Safe Streets campaign to get that outdoor dining space set up. She applied on Friday, and they came in like Monday morning and put in that that little wavy barrier on the street. So they came in like quick and set that up for her. In fact, they set up even faster than she was ready to get the tables out there. But I'm really happy that my favorite coffee shop is reopening now and is going to have some social distance space available.
Yeah, I think that's going to
get back in business for everybody here in the neighborhood.
It feels like people are, I mean, at least the ones I've run into, either they have their masks on or they're keeping their distance. And we've been outside. We went to the golf course, not in Multnomah County, but it was over in Washington County in Beaverton. And people were walking around to and fro and in the shop, and they had their mask on. And then it looks like they kind of took it off when they got to the driving range or wherever they were going out on the course. But I feel like people have been super respectful.
Well, Jennifer, who's been really chiming in at a rapid rate here so far in the early going of Sunrise Extra. Jennifer chimes in again, Brenda. She says specifically to me, and I suppose this is in response to my grocery store comment that I saw half the people not wearing masks on Saturday. She said, Drew, East County is a hot mess. Jennifer describes East County as being a hot mess right now. And Jennifer, you can expand on that. I'm assuming you mean with the lack of people wearing masks right now. We also had a comment from Robert who says, really it is true as far as masks go and the lack of people wearing them right now. He says it is still too high risk for me. I'm staying home right now because of the people who just don't seem to care. Brittany, meanwhile, says she spent Father's Day at the park. Good morning, by the way, Brittany. Brittany says she spent Father's Day at the park with her dad, her sister, and her husband. She said it was a gorgeous day, which I agree it was. She said there were very few masks in the park there in North Portland.
Yeah, I just saw that come. I think it just depends on where you are, It's very different, neighborhood to neighborhood, county to county, it sounds like. But I was seeing a lot. I follow a ton of restaurants on Instagram, and they were all just so excited to have people, Go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, I run on Willamette Boulevard a lot here through North Portland, and my experience with people outdoors is that there's maybe a little bit less mask wearing outdoors because I think that might be on the high end of caution.
Yeah.
But I do notice that people, especially the runners I see, everybody's going way out of their way to... if somebody's walking this way, somebody will go 6 feet over even when there's, traffic this way. So it's kind of this weird, you're kind of playing, you're playing chicken, but in a nice way, figuring out how to kind of give each other that space. That's been my experience anyway up here.
And so we, on Friday, we live up in Northwest, and we had an appointment in Milwaukee, and that's what I really noticed on the first day of reopening for the county, that there was just definitely more traffic. It's nothing like it's going to be when everybody's back to their office or wherever they're going, but I noticed a marked difference because I've been coming in and traveling this entire time right around my area, mostly just from home to work and back. But I was like, oh, I'm glad things are reopening. I really am. But there was a little selfish part of me that thought, oh, I love getting everywhere super quick. Right?
There were some good parts of the shutdown for sure. But I would also, like you said, Brendan, love to see things get back to normal busyness-wise in the city. I saw two spots. Now, I can't compare them to months past because I wasn't really in these spots regularly at these times. But Thursday evening, 6 o'clock, I was on 205 right by Oregon City, and I was completely stopped. Like, I was like, whoa, what is... I haven't been in a traffic jam, and there wasn't any reason that I could tell other than there were just a lot of cars on the road. I assume heading home from work at 6 o'clock last Thursday. And then Friday, to your point, Brenda, I was up coming from North Portland back down here towards work in downtown Portland, and I-5 was really congested at about 11:30 in the morning, heading north or heading south from the Vancouver area back into town. So I thought, wow, this is a complete change. I know from that area, just a few weeks ago, where we are starting to see cars get back out there on our major thoroughfares.
Mm-hmm. Craig and Kelly,
I was wondering, guys.
Chris, go ahead.
I was going to say, I was wondering. I'm not sure if TriMet has any data on this about how many folks they are anticipating coming back, but I know that's kind of been a little bit of a story with the desire to keep social distancing and isolation as we go back to work, that maybe a lot more people that might ride public transit are now going to be in their cars. So it might be kind of interesting to see, you know, if our sleepy little commute becomes really busy soon.
Right.
Well, that'll be something interesting to follow.
Because I think the data is that most TriMet users actually do have a car. They just choose to use transit. But yeah, maybe everyone wanting, a lot of people when they come back to work or if their office opens want to take the car instead. Craig Kelly on Facebook says Sherwood shut the main road down in Old Town to set up tents for social distancing at several restaurants and their local wine shop. It's wonderful, and the support from folks in town has been thumbs up. Good,
nice.
Craig. We love hearing about that. I love eating outside anyway, you know,
Right.
and like if you have better space and less cars driving by your table, it's kind of nice.
Absolutely. Brian Lee on Facebook says, I spent Father's Day with my son in Depot Bay, and he says 90% of the people there wore masks. And then Willie Huey, good morning to you, says, I was in Union County on Thursday. I was the only person wearing a mask inside. They all looked at me like I was from Mars. So
Union County,
Yeah.
Far East.
Yeah, LeGrand.
Oh, LeGrand. Okay.
that area.
That Brian Lee
Yeah,
you just
Northeast
mentioned there,
LeGrand.
Brenda. Brian Lee, not only was yesterday Father's Day, Brian mentions that today is his birthday. So a
Oh,
big
happy
sunrise
birthday.
extra shout out and a happy birthday to you, Brian Lee.
Oh, that's awesome. Drew, what'd you guys do for Father's Day? I know you have a couple cool pictures to show us, right?
Oh yeah, we do have the pictures. Now this was not a Father's Day planned by me or really for me. This was a Father's Day up at our my in-laws' place in Estacada, and when we go up there, yeah, it turns into basically the OK Corral. Mia from Estacada, my in-laws still living there. They think it's a fun activity to do target practice, and that's what I like to do. When they're shooting the BB guns, I just sit back with my dog. That's my father-in-law. I didn't know we snuck that one in. I forgot about that one. Dell, my father-in-law, kind of fell asleep during the Father's Day celebration there.
hilarious.
So anyway, there's the boys having fun on Father's Day.
How nice to have property like that to
Yes.
go out on.
Talk about the
Yeah.
ability to social distance. They've
Right?
got 20 acres up there, which quite honestly is way too much for a 76-year-old man to handle. I would see that guy, my father-in-law, 10 years
100-acre wood?
ago at 66, like just all over that field, all over that property, climbing trees, taking care of business like it was nobody's business. And I'm starting to finally see at 76, like he's slowing down a little bit. But I'm looking around going, geez, dude, I wouldn't want to take care of 1 acre.
Yeah.
You've got 20.
Step up, you're going to inherit that.
That's why he's
I don't
falling
know about that,
asleep
Brenda.
outdoors. Yeah,
There are other
that's
siblings
awesome.
involved here. They can have it.
Jennifer Taft says, Drew, don't shoot your eye out.
Don't worry. It's very hard to shoot your eye out when you don't actually hold the gun in your hand.
Okay, yeah, you got to keep
I was
those
at a
boys
safe
aimed
social
at the
distance.
target. Exactly. I love that.
Monique Ramirez Locke says, I was in Seaside this weekend and no one, absolutely no one, was wearing a mask.
Indoors?
No, she
Or
said,
outdoors?
then she has little LOL faces, especially on the beach.
Yeah.
Was it
you
super
don't
crowded
have
on
to
the
wear
beach?
it. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't wear one on the beach. Is that bad?
We were down on the beach last Sunday, right? Yes, a
Yeah.
week ago yesterday, and spent the day down there at Cannon Beach, and there were not any masks being worn on the beach. Then we went to the Kelly's Marina where we go crabbing, and there were masks there on the docks, and certainly in the store. You couldn't enter Kelly's store without wearing a mask. But absolutely, on the beach, I saw 0 masks.
Yeah.
I mean, the Oregon coast is so breezy.
Right.
Straight up windy.
Yeah, you don't
I
have
would
to
think
wear
that
one
would be a
outside.
pretty safe
Yeah.
bet if you were keeping your distance
Yeah,
and it
out on the
wasn't too
sand.
crowded.
I think it's all good. I don't get the leg lamp joke, Jennifer.
The first reference to "Don't Shoot Your Eye Out" is from
Oh,
the Christmas
okay.
Story,
Christmas
and now
Story.
this is a second Christmas Story.
Send
Christmas
your leg
story.
lamp. Rob St.
C
Helen
plus.
says the COVID cases are going to spike like crazy. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the number is later today. They always release them from the Oregon Health Authority in the afternoon, like at 1 o'clock. But yeah, we've been seeing a lot, and that's going to happen.
You know
I
what
think
we should do though, Nina, Brenda, Chris, in regards to this topic today, we should really probably reach out to one of our friends of the show who own a business in Multnomah County, one of our restaurant
Yeah, how
friends,
was it?
and find out from them maybe tomorrow morning at this time just what that first weekend was like from their side of things.
Yeah, good idea.
Because I know a lot of those business owners are obviously excited to reopen, but at the same time, they want to reopen at a slow, steady pace, right? Take it easy, at least for starters, to see how it works.
Yeah. And I know, a lot of the smaller places, they're waiting until at least phase 2 because you just can't if you have a small little bar or something, and you're only going to have like 2 tables or 3 tables spaced out, then it just doesn't pencil.
We are apparently going to have a baseball season, a youth baseball season. We are set to actually play games, not this coming weekend, but July 4th weekend in Marion County, which is obviously in phase 2 of reopening, and the bylaws, if you will, at this point suggest that you can have, I think it's up to 100 people in an outdoor setting. Whatever the number is, they know it's definitely enough to have kids and umpires and coaches out there together. Now, I think the kids are going to be wearing masks in the dugout. I know that for sure.
Oh, really?
There will be no more team handshakes before or after. Trying to start practicing now with these kids and trying to do it safely, and so they're basically picking a throwing partner. You have one kid that you will throw a ball with all practice long. You will share the same ball, and that ball will be sanitized before and after you throw with it. I mean, they're really making some serious efforts to try to keep baseball going. If I was the man in charge, I probably would have just said, wave the white flag. We'll get to it next season. But they are, the coaches anyways, and the people running these leagues to this point are doing everything they can to try to make this as a safe experience as possible. But we'll see. Games have not yet been played, but we're supposed to play some ball games in 2 weeks.
And they're starting on the 4th of July.
Yeah, that's kind of been that's usually a common popular weekend for baseball.
I remember tryouts of something, soccer, baseball, was always on Mother's Day. I'm like, who organized that?
I have to go sit out in these bleachers.
We were told that we have to be ready on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of 4th of July weekend. Be ready to be at the ball field as early as 7:30, any one or all 3 of those days. That's when you're like, oh, wait a minute, why do we do this again? Do you guys really love it this much?
Monique asking on Facebook, good question. So kids under 12 don't have to wear masks, but what about schools? So that mask requirement that starts on Wednesday in 7 Oregon counties, and it's the Tri-County area, and then Lincoln County, Hood River, Marion, and Polk. Kids under 12 don't have to wear masks. If they can, they should. And it's in indoor public places. And businesses can, refuse to let you in if you don't wear one and you don't have a medical issue. We don't know about schools, Monique, yet. The Oregon Education Department's still figuring that out, what school will look like come fall. So stay tuned, we don't know yet.
Can I ask a question about the medical exemption thing? Does anybody know about that?
So it's for a lot of
curious.
respiratory
I bring that up because, so what is your, do you produce a document at the door that says, here's my doctor's note, I don't have to wear it? Or is it just
nope, it's
the honor system?
Yeah, it's just the honor system. So we had that question come up last Thursday when the governor did this press conference about the masks. And a lot of people have said, legally they can't, if you tell a business, oh, I have a medical condition, I can't wear a mask, they cannot ask you any other follow-up questions. You don't have to have any kind of paperwork. And so then legally you would have to be allowed in that business. So yes, if you want to get around the mask requirement and fib that you have a medical condition, there are going to be some people that do that and have already said that they will.
Because I ran into that.
Yeah.
Next question.
I actually ran into that circumstance at the Tiger Costco a couple weeks ago. There was somebody in the store that wasn't wearing one, and a couple people gave that person kind of a look, and I know that one of the store associates went over and said, you need to put your mask on, and they said, well, I have a medical condition, and that was the end of the discussion. So, just kind of food for thought, I guess.
Yeah, it is just the honor system. Legally, they can't ask any more questions than that.
Jeremy Huffman on our Facebook page says, I was in Kennewick with the in-laws this weekend, and I would say 75% of the people had no masks. But the evening drive through the gorge back to Gresham was lovely. I bet it was. Just gorgeous yesterday.
Amy points out on Facebook this morning, good morning Amy Walker, by the way, she says, my husband and I went shopping and all the stores are having great sales, which is great to hear. I'll tell you who's not having great sales is the grocery stores, right? I mean, my grocery bill, I know we're buying more food than we ever have because we're eating at home more than we ever have, and we're eating, many meals a day at home with the boys not doing any sort of schooling, obviously, no summer camps. But my goodness, the grocery bill, and we go every week, is huge.
Can you say for a family of 4?
I'll tell you on
ballpark it.
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly. I spent $224 on Saturday. Now I did buy some liquid detergent and some hairspray and some gel. So, I mean, it wasn't all food on the grocery list that day. And yes, Mia wanted another bottle of Prosecco, which isn't cheap, but nonetheless, $224. It's pretty much a $200 grocery bill every 7 days.
I agree.
Oh, see,
well,
I
we've been
feel-
running those stories that like groceries are what, up like 20% or something more?
I feel like our grocery bill has actually gone down. This is terrible, Drew. I thought you were going to say a way higher number, because there are 3 of us in my household, and we're definitely spending that much just for 3, and you've got 2 growing boys.
Yeah.
But early on, I was like, I guess it's because we were buying more things, like, you know, paper goods and that type of thing. But my eyes popped. I mean, because it was in the 300
Well, was that
probably
like
before
at
they
a
took a
Costco?
discount. No,
Yeah.
it wasn't. It was like at QFC, Safeway.
Right.
Those are the 2 places that I've been. And now I've gone back to Winco. And so my bill, I definitely notice a difference. We're spending less on groceries, even though prices are up.
I do think, though, Brenda, at the same time, you buy some foods that are more like specialty foods, perhaps, I would say. Don't you buy like some things that I wouldn't normally buy myself at the grocery store for the kids, like some more organic foods and things of that nature? Am I right in saying that?
Yes, I would say so. I blame the vegan in my house.
Yeah.
It's expensive, the specialty foods
Yes,
or
yes.
Boys
I
get
mean, what
Safeway
else we
Select
do?
white rice.
Yeah, right. And beans. What else we did this
Well,
weekend, which is really nice.
Meat's kind of expensive too, guys. I mean, it's not, so there's a trade-off in
Yes.
there.
We actually, for a little experiment, stopped buying meat at the grocery store.
We had the in-laws here.
Sorry, Chris, let me just finish this really quick and then you go. But we went to the farmer's
Go ahead.
market on Saturday, and we bought a whole chicken, and we bought just some beef patties, something that was a little more sustainable instead of buying it at the grocery store. Okay, Chris, go.
I bow down to you. That you are a wholesome lady, Brenda Braxton.
Ish.
It should be pointed out, Chris is on a serious delay of about 3 seconds at least. So I know, Chris, it's tough in this 4-box setup of a conversation that we're trying to have. It's hard for you to jump in and out seamlessly, but we're always looking for opportunities for Chris to jump in when possible.
How about I just jump out? I'm gonna go visit my coffee shop across the street. I'll be back.
We're all going to jump out, Chris, because the time has come for us to wrap up Sunrise Extra, but we will do it again tomorrow. We thank you for joining us on all of our social media streams and on our KGW YouTube page. We'll see you on Tuesday morning.
Bye.